Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now, in the last episode of our Kotlin Multiplatform social media app series, we worked on the shared code for the edit profile functionality where we set up the logic to handle profile updates including uploading images. Today we are going to tie that shared logic into our Android app. We've already built most of the UI for the edit profile screen earlier in the series. So in this video, we will focus on updating the view model to connect with the rest of the application. We'll also create a utility class for handling image upload and make a few small adjustments to the composables to make sure everything works together seamlessly. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, in this first task, we will modify our edit profile view model to fetch real user data and populate our UI feed like the text feed for the username. Because up until now, we have been using some placeholder sample data for the profile. So the first thing we will do is to pass a get profile use case to edit profile view model constructor. This use case will allow us to request the profile data from our repository. Now, next we are going to modify fetch profile method. Instead of loading this in-memory fetch data, we are going to make use of our get profile use case. And since this get profile use case returns a flow, we just want the first emission. For that, we're going to call this terminal operator first. Now, if the request fails, we set an error message in the UI state. We also set the isLoading to false. If it succeeds, we will set our profile to result.data and reset isLoading also to false. Now, because result.data returns profile from our account.domain.model.profile, and we are still using our in-memory profile from our dummy data, we need to replace this profile with the one from our account.domain.model, this one from the shared module. And of course, we can scroll up and remove all these imports. All right, now below edit profile UI state, we are also going to define a sealed edit profile UI action interface that will help us manage different UI events starting with fetch profile. So we'll call this one as edit profile UI action. Now, of course, for now, we just need a data class fetch profile. This one will take, of course, the user ID and it's of type edit profile UI action. Then finally, in our view model, we will need to define a new method for onUI action. So we'll define this new method called onUI action that needs to be passed edit profile UI action. And for fetch profile action, we need to call our fetch profile method. Now, of course, here we can make this as private now. Okay, and now we need to make a few important updates to the edit profile screen composable to connect it to the view model logic we just set up. We need to go inside edit profile package, edit package, and open edit profile screen.kt. Now here, of course, we'll need to scroll up, and for this function, edit profile screen, we first need to modify the parameters. Now, previously we had this on upload button click and fetch profile. These need to be replaced with a single on UI action that need to be passed edit profile UI action. Now we also need the user ID so that we can fetch the correct user. Next, we will need to update the launched effect that triggers when the screen is opened. Now here, instead of calling fetch profile, which doesn't exist anymore, we will need to call our onUI action fetch profile action, and we'll pass the user ID. Now let's refactor the content of the screen itself. For now, I will just pass an empty lender for this, and for on upload button click, we can comment this out. And for profile.profile ID, it's I think image URL. Right now, previously we were checking if the profile was null or the error message was set in a way that assumed these conditions were mutually exclusive. But now, since they might both exist at the same time, like when an error occurs during profile updates, we will restructure our layout to account for that. Now, let me collapse this column, and I will scroll up, and let's also collapse this column here. Now here we have three key states, right? Inside this box, we will first of all check if the profile exists. If the profile is different of null. Now, if the profile exists, we'll need to cut the content that is inside this column or this column here and paste that here. Oops, what happened? Right? So, okay, let's go back here. Now, below this if profile exists, we are going to check if the edit profile UI state dot profile equals null, and the edit profile UI state dot message is different of null. This means if error message exists but no profile, in that case we want to show our screen level error message. So we can call screen level error view. Now this composable here, screen level error view, correspond to the code that is inside here. Remember, in one of our previous videos we extracted the code in a separate composable. So for the retry button, we'll need to call our onUIAction.fetch profile action, and we pass in the user ID. All right, now lastly, right below this if condition here, we are going to check if edit profile UI state dot is loading. And in that case, we'd like to show our circular progress indicator. So this is the code we extracted for our circular progress indicator, also in one of our previous videos, right? So coming back here, and now let me collapse this, and we need to remove this when expression. Now to recap what we just did for the refactor of the screen content. Now here we first check if the profile exists, and in that case we display the profile data and allow users to update their name, bio, and image. The code for that is contained in the body of this column here. Now if there is an error message, error message is different of null, but there is no profile, it means that we couldn't load the profile data. And in that case, we need to show this screen level loading error view that gives us this option to retry loading the profile data. And for the lambda, and inside that lambda, we call onUIAction fetch profile action. Now, lastly, we also need to check the is loading. Every time edit profile UI state that is loading, we need to show the circular progress indicator. All right, now let's go ahead and open edit profile.kt. Of course, here we are going to get errors that we need to fix. Now here we just need to pass the user ID, and for onUIAction, we call view model onUIAction. And lastly, let's go inside the DI and open appmodule.kt, because now we are passing get profile use case to our edit profile view model. We need to call get, and coin will inject the get profile use case to our edit profile view model. All right, now I've got my device connected. Let's go ahead and run our application and test. All right, guys, now the app has launched. Let's go ahead and visit my currently logged in profile, Mr. Deep Coding. Now let's click on edit profile. So as you can see, we have successfully retrieved Mr. Deep Coding and the bio of Mr. Deep. But unfortunately, the image is not showing, and we'll fix that quickly. For that, let's go inside our edit profile screen, composable, and we need to expand the column. And where we have where we show this circle image, we need to call to current image to current URL. And now let's go ahead and rerun our application. All right, now we will go one more time to Mr. Deep Coding profile, and since it's the profile I'm currently logged in, we'll click on this edit profile button, and as you can see, at this time we are also loading the Mr. Deep profile image. All right, now for the next task, we will focus on updating textual information like the username and the user bio. And after that, we'll handle the image upload, because that requires a little bit more code to write. All right, now coming back inside edit profile view model. First, we need to pass update profile use case to the view model constructor. Then we need to go inside our update profile. Now here we need to make sure that we first have a profile already retrieved. If not, we return. In this launched coroutine, below the delay call, we will then make our request and copy the current user data and make sure that the bio get updated properly. Since we are not handling the image upload just yet, we need to pass a null for image byte. All right, we then use a when expression to check when the result is error. In that case, we set the error message to result.message. Now, in case the operation was successful, we need to set upload succeed to true, and of course in both of these cases we need to reset our isLoading to false. Now in case you are wondering why we didn't pass the name in the profile.copy call, well, this is because on name change already update the profile name. But if you look at on bio change, we are not dealing with the profile directly. Rather, we are updating this bio text feed value. All right, let's move on to updating edit profile action set interface. Now from here, we will add a new class upload profile action that takes image URI. We'll set the default value for the URI to be URI.empty in case no image was selected. Finally, let's update on UI action for the newly added action upload profile action. And if the UI triggers this upload profile action, we need to call upload profile. Now let's open edit profile screen.kt and we will scroll where we have our upload button. So in the onClick lambda, here we need to pass on UI action, and the action is going to be edit profile action.upload profile. All right, now let's go ahead and open app module again because we are now passing the upload use case. Okay, now let's go ahead and run our application and test. Okay, now the app is launched. Let's go to Mr. Deep profile and we can click on the edit profile. So let's try to, for example, remove this coding, and we'll also update this. Let's add a new emoji like this, and we'll click on upload changes. Right, so as you can see, the profile for Mr. Deep has been updated successfully. Now next, let's proceed on uploading the image. All right, in this section, we will implement the logic for picking an image from the gallery and passing it along in the profile update request. First, we need to allow the user to pick an image. Now to do that, inside our edit profile screen composable, right below this context variable, we are going to define two variables: selected image and pick image. The selected image stores the URI of the selected image, and pick image is the launcher that opens the image picker and returns the selected image URI, which is then stored inside selected image. Now we need to trigger the image picker when the user clicks on the image picker icon. We can scroll down, and for this image icon in the onClick lambda, now here we need to call pickImage.launch. This opens the system image picker, allowing the user to select an image. Note here that we restrict it to images only by passing pick visual media.image only. All right, now next we'll create a utility class to help us read the selected image as a byte array. We'll need this byte array to send the image in our update profile request. So let's go ahead and expand the common package, then util package, and inside this util package we'll create a new Kotlin file that we'll name image byte reader. Select class and hit enter. Now this class needs to be passed the context and an IO dispatcher for moving the work of the main thread. The context will allow us to access content resolver and open input stream to read bytes from a URI. Now inside this image byte reader, we will define a suspend method called read image byte. It takes in a URI and return result of type byte array. All right, now inside this read image byte, we first of all need to call with context, and we pass IO dispatcher to move the operation of the main thread. Then we will need a try block, and in here we are going to define this byte variable, and to this we need to call app context dot content resolver dot open input stream, and for the URI we'll pass the URI that was passed. Now here we need to call use from the Kotlin sender library to make sure that if we are done reading the byte array from the URI, this open input stream will be closed automatically. Or if there was an error, this input stream will also be closed automatically. Now in here we need to call it.readByte. Now of course this is nullable. We need to make sure that we first check if this is not null, and in that case we call the use function. Okay, then if this byte variable is not null, from here we need to return result.success and we'll pass it. If it is null, we need to call result.error And for the message, we need to pass a new constant read image byte failure message. Now let's open our constant.kt, and from here we can define read image byte failure message failed to read the image byte. All right, now let's go back inside image byte reader.kt. And so here for the catch block, we will first of all catch a cancellation exception. Now, if you've got a Kotlin X coroutine.cancellation exception, in that case, we need to reflow it. Now, we'll also catch IO exception. So if we've got an IO exception, okay, in that case, we need to return result.error. And for the message, of course, we'll pass our IO exception. For the message, we'll need to, okay, let me get this right. We have an extra. Right. Okay, so in that case, we need to return IOException.message. If this is null, we just need to pass an unexpected error message. All right, so finally, we will catch any exception. And of course, we'll also need to pass exception.message or unexpected error message. Okay, now before we go back in edit profile screen.kt, let's open edit profile view model. And to the constructor, we'll need to pass our read image byte. Let's go ahead and import image byte reader. Now we need to scroll, and below upload profile, let's make it private. And below this upload image profile, we'll need to define a new private function, and we will name this one as read image byte. Now, of course, this is going to take our image URI. And in here, we first of all need to make sure that we have a profile, otherwise we just return. Next, we are going to change our UI state and set the loading state to be true. And below that, we'll need to launch a new coroutine. All right, now in here, we are going to check if our image URI is empty. And in this case, we need to call upload image, and we are going to return from launch. Now, if the URI is not empty, right below this if statement, we are going to call image byte reader.read image byte and pass in here our image URI. And then we'll check when the result is error or successful. Right, so when we get an image error, we need to set our result.message to error message of UI state. Now, of course, here we also need to check when we've got a successful. In that case, we need to call upload profile and we'll pass result.data. Now, let's go to our upload profile method. Now, in here, we will take a nullable image byte of type byte array and a profile. Of course, we can now remove this. Now, because we already have a coroutine launched inside a read image byte, we can just make this function suspendable, so we'll not need to launch this coroutine anymore. So let's cut this code here and remove the viewModel.launch call. So we'll just call this delay here, and then we call our update profile use case for the image byte. Instead of passing null, now we'll pass this image byte passed here. All right, now let's scroll down, and here we need to fix upload profile call. So we'll pass now here for image byte, we'll pass null, and for profile, we'll just pass profile. Now coming here for the image byte, we're going to pass result.data, and for profile, we also just call profile. Scrolling down here where we are calling upload profile, we don't need to call this anymore when upload profile action. Instead, we'll need to call read image byte, and for image URI, we'll pass UI action dot image URI. All right, now let's go and open edit profile screen. So when the user clicks on upload changes button, here we are calling upload profile action. So we are going to check if there was a selected image. So if selected image is not null, in that case, we'll need to call our own UI action, edit profile UI action dot upload profile action, and we'll pass for the image URI, we'll pass it. Now, if there was no selected image, we'll fall into this block here. And in that case, we just need to call upload profile action, and the image URI will be set to URI.empty. All right, now let's go ahead and open DI and appmodule.kt. Since we are passing now read image byte, we are again going to call get. All right, so I've got my device connected again. So let's go ahead and run our application. Okay, so the app has been launched. Let's go to Mr. Deep Profile and we'll click on Edit Profile. And there we go. So the app crashed. Let's go and look to the log cat. could not create instance for edit profile view model. All right, so this is because we haven't told Coin how to provide an instance of read image byte, image byte reader. Okay, so now we will need to call single and create instance of image byte. For the context, we need to call Android context. This will pass the application context to create an instance of image byte reader. And because we just need only one instance of this image byte reader, that's why we're using this single function from Coin. All right, now let's rerun the application and test. All right, so the API is launched one more time. So let's go to Mr. Deep profile and we'll click on edit profile button. This time, let's click on the edit icon. So here we provided the system image picker. Let's go ahead and pick this image. Okay, so we'll also work on updating the selected image. Actually, I think the image was selected, but because we haven't set this image to show the URI that was selected, that's why you cannot see it. Let's just go ahead and click on upload changes and let's see if, there we go. So as you can see, the image was uploaded to our server successfully and we were able to edit Mr. Deep profile image. Now let's go ahead and fix this issue quickly. All right, now to show the selected image URI, let's go back inside edit profile screen and we'll need to locate where we are calling circle image. This composable here. So command click here, and after setting the URL, we also need to set another parameter here, the URI, and it's nullable and the default value is null. So for the model here, we will check if there is an URI, otherwise you use the URL. So let's go now back inside edit profile screen, and after the model, we can pass the URI as the selected image. All right, so let's rerun our application and test. All right, now the application is launched. Let's go to Mr. Deep profile one more time and click on edit profile button. We will click on this icon to choose a new image. Let's this time select this image, and as you can see now our circle image updated the content to show the URI that was selected. Let's go ahead and click on upload changes. And as you can see, our image was uploaded and we get this image updated here. Now, one more thing that you can notice here is that when we go back to our profile screen, the posts don't update themselves directly with the updated image profile or the updated user profile, right? So we need to send a new event bus so that when we go back to profile or to this home screen, this information about the current user get updated immediately in our post. All right, so here you'll need to go ahead and inside the common and util package, open eventbus.kt. We will define a new event that we'll call profile updated. Now, because we have a new event, let's go ahead and open profile view model.kt. All right, now here above fetch profile method, we'll need to have here an init block, and inside this init block, we need to call eventbus.event, and on each event, we are going to check if the event is post updated. In that case, we need to call update post. This is a method we have already defined, and if it's profile updated, we need to call update profile, and we'll pass the profile. Of course, we're going to define this in a moment, but before that, we need to call launched in to launch a new coroutine in our view model scope. Now, to update our profile, when we have this profile updated event, we are going to define a new method right below update post. So right here, we will define our update profile, and inside this update profile, we just need to change user info UI state.copy, and we'll pass the new profile. Now we will also go ahead and open home screen view model.kt. Now here, of course, we will need also a case for profile updated. Now for this profile updated case, we will need to define a new method. So let's go below, right below update post. Okay, so in here, we will define a new method that we'll call update current user profile. All right, so here for the feed state, post feed UI state, we'll do post feed UI state.copy, and then for the post, we will map if the post.user.id correspond to this profile.id. In that case, we know that we need to change the information. So we'll make a copy of this post and we'll set the username to profile.name and the user image URL to profile.image URL. Now, if this post.user.id is not equal to the profile.id, we just need to pass the post. So there's no change to do there. Now let's scroll up, and instead of unit, we will call update current user post profile data, and we'll pass it dot profile. Now lastly, we will need to open post a detail view model, right? So here also we're going to get an error. Now for profile updated, we will also define update current user profile data. So let's go right below our update post. So in here, we are going to define update current user profile data, and this is what this method does. First of all, we check to see if we have retrieved a post, otherwise we return, and then we check to see if the post dot is own post, so if this post belongs to the current user. So in that case, we will have this updated post where we'll make post dot copy and change the username to profile.name and user image URL to profile.image URL. And after that, we call update post. Then we also need to change the user information in the comments. So we will make comment UI state.copy, and for the list of comments, we'll pass our comment UI state.comment.map. So we will map if the comment.user ID equals to the profile.id. In that case, we need to change this comment information. So we'll make a copy of that. And for the username, we'll pass profile.name. For the user image URL, we'll pass profile.image URL. Otherwise, we just pass it. All right, now let's scroll up, and where we call for the profile updated, we need to call update current user profile data, and we'll pass here it.profile. All right, now that we have defined this profile updated event, and we have made sure that the profile view model, home screen view model, and profile detail view model get this event and update themselves or the UI, let's go ahead and open edit profile view model.kt. And when we get a successful result after we upload the profile, here we'll need to trigger the event profile updated. So we call our event bus, and we need to send a new event. So let me go ahead and import these classes. All right, so we will go ahead and send a new event profile updated. We need to pass result.data. All right, so now we can run and test our application. All right, so the app is launched. Let me go to Mr. Deep Profile, and we'll click on edit profile button, right? So let's try to change this text here. We'll set this to Patrick, and let's remove one emoji. And also let's try to change the profile picture, right? So this time let's choose this, for example, and I'll go ahead and click on upload changes. All right, so as you can see, the profile got updated. Okay, so this did not update. Okay, so let me go back. Okay, so the home screen got updated, but the profile did not update. Okay, so let's go back inside profile view model. I think we need to make sure that we also update posts after we update our profile. All right, so right below this user info UI state.copy, we will need to make a copy of profile post UI state, and we'll map the post. So if the post.user.id equals to profile, this profile here.id, then we'll make a copy and change the username and the image URL. Otherwise, we just set it. All right, so let's go ahead and run our application one more time and test. Okay, so the app is launched. Let's go to Mr. Deep or to Patrick profile now, and we will edit the profile. Let's set this to Mr. Deep. All right, so now I will click on upload changes, and as you can see, the post also got updated. Now they have this Mr. Deep, and if I go back to the main or the home screen, you'll see that also this username was updated to Mr. Deep. Alright guys, now that's it for today's episode where we have worked on the Android presentation layer code for the edit profile functionality. Now one big feature that remained to be completed is the upload post feature, and that's what we're going to work on in the next episode. Of course, we'll start with the shared code, and then in the episode after that we'll work on the Android code for uploading new posts. Now as always, I will see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.